I have tried all methods to enlarge my penis. I always wanted a bigger penis. It wasn't that it was too small, but it was still uncomfortable. Even though it was my internal problem of perceiving my body, it didn't make it any easier. The method of accepting yourself as you are doesn't work. There are different types of penises, and I had a normal size penis, up to 16 when it was erected, and I had no problems during sex. I was even praised by my partners more than once. But in his unerected state, he seemed small visually. As it turned out, this is a problem for most men. That is, most men have a penis type that looks much smaller in an unerected state, although when erect, it has a sufficient or large length. Since many events in life are associated with nudity or being in underwear, we want our penis to look bigger in a relaxed state. In fact, if you have a different problem, it doesn't matter. I was able to enlarge my penis both in a relaxed and erect state. It will work for you too, whatever your goal is. But I am telling my story. Another problem is that an erection does not always happen instantly. Sometimes you need to expose the penis while it is not erected, and there is psychological discomfort, which can even lead to the fact that you cannot relax and there will be no erection. I won't go into a long list of different situations, because if you're reading this, you know all the details. I will say right away that I tried all the methods that looked at least a little bit adequate, and I succeeded. You don't have to do a lot of stupid things like I did. In the end, I got what I wanted. I have to tell you that the feeling when you really perceive your body, when you feel comfortable in it, is indescribable. It is pure happiness. When after the second month, I noticed that my penis had grown, and I realized for sure that it was not an illusion. I immediately took my girlfriend, and we swam naked in the river near my house. This is one of the things I could not afford for a very long time. And this is when my penis became only 1 centimeter longer in the relaxed state. In fact, 1 centimeter is quite a lot if you look at a ruler. Most people underestimate values. Important, this happened after 2 months, when I finally came up with a method that worked. And before that, there were years of mistakes, interruptions, and I had almost given up, especially given the skepticism I've seen everywhere on the internet. In fact, I too used to be a source of skepticism sometimes. But every time I gathered the motivation and tried again, now I know that many people have done it too, because people started writing me success stories when I started sharing my story on the internet. I asked them why they didn't create a blog and share their stories. Usually, people don't want to do this because they are already happy and say that most people won't believe them anyway. But I decided to take some time to share it with you. Understand that at a time when everyone can increase their height by 10 centimeters, it is not reasonable to believe that you cannot lengthen your penis by 3-4 centimeters. Back to my story. The first time I believed that I could enlarge my penis was when I came across an advertisement for the cream on the internet. Rather, she found me because I was interested in this topic. Everyone now understands how targeted advertising works, but at that time I didn't know. And immediately, without thinking, I grabbed this opportunity. I did my best. I sincerely believed that various extracts and other substances in the ointment would help. Now it sounds ridiculous, but it was a different time, and there was no information at all. It was a significant disappointment, because I spent a lot of effort, time, and money. For a while, I accepted it. I thought it was no big deal. I wouldn't dance naked. I would buy swimming shorts that didn't fit, and so on. But after a while, I started looking for information again. This time, I came across a vacuum pump. It was well argued that it would enlarge your penis by increasing blood flow, and they immediately demonstrated how effectively she did it. Don't forget, it was a different time when pumps were not common, and no one understood what they were good for and what they were not. As you can imagine, the pump is not suitable for anything else besides helping with erection, as well as Viagra, which I also came across. But after the pump, I clearly realized that pumping blood into the penis does not lead to its enlargement. That is, it completely returns to its previous size when the erection ends. Again, for some time, I had no motivation to do so. But one day, I came across a TV program about tribes from Africa, if I'm not mistaken, and there were men who had very long penises. And it turned out that this was not a genetic feature, but an acquired length. That is, they had a cultural tradition among men, and they stretched their penises in a special way and walked like that. What also convinced me was that absolutely every one of them had a result. There was a clear understanding that it was a consequence of their actions. And in my head, I saw a picture from a video I had seen before, where a man was showing techniques of massage and stretching the penis with his hands. He had a very long penis. But at the time when I saw this video with him, I was full of skepticism, as I had been disappointed with previous attempts. and my brain told me that he was just making money and that he had a long penis from birth, that is, a genetic feature. But when I put together these memories and videos with the tribesmen, I was full of motivation again. I immediately started looking for these exercises. I found them, bought them, and started doing them very systematically. After a few weeks, I even saw some results, but it was very unstable, and as soon as I missed exercises at least once, it would return to normal. A few months later, I realized that something was wrong. I started looking for more information. Everything I found only confirmed my fears. Everyone who shared their experience said that they had not achieved any results, and some of them also experienced side effects and even went to the doctor to eliminate them. There were some horrible stories, but let's not talk about them. I would not have believed the information on the internet, and did exactly as described, with no result. Then, again, there was a period of disappointment, despondency, and a moral pit. There are a lot of events that I could not enjoy. Sauna, swimming pool, swimming naked, and being naked in front of my girlfriend, gym, enjoying foreplay before sex, and many more, such as jokes about big and small dick. Now, I have it all. And in the first months after the result, I did things that I'm even ashamed to write about in my blog. But it was fun and worth all my mistakes. So, after a while, I started looking for information again. This time, I didn't go into a bunch of easy and deceptive methods, supplements, pills, hormones. Also, there was always one limitation in my mind. I was not ready to have surgery. It was a taboo, and I didn't have to. I was very much inspired by the video from the African tribe, which constantly kept me from despairing. It came up in my head as an argument, and I couldn't do anything about it, because what objections could I have? I started looking for other similar successful cases from various fields of physiology, medicine, or just human results. The first thing I came across were tribes in which women had metal rings inserted around their necks, making their necks impressively long. Also, Chinese traditions where women's feet were regularly wrapped with cloth in such a way that over time completely changed the shape of their feet. That is, it was obvious from different cultures that the human body is very plastic and subject to any changes. Moreover, in these cases, the bone tissue, which is the hardest, also changed. And I thought, even if it can be lengthened or otherwise completely changed, the penis should also. There are no bones in it, so it should take even less time. Not years, but months. I read many different articles and came to the conclusion that it was indeed possible. I realized that the cells in the body are constantly multiplying, and it is necessary to create a stimulus for them to divide more actively and form new tissue. If different people could do it without scientific knowledge, having certain habits in their culture, then I can do it too. I also became very interested in how people have been increasing the length of their legs and becoming 10 cm taller. It was a shock for me at all, and the doctors were using the same principle as in African tribes when doing this for people. They created a constant tension on all structures, and the tissues first stretched, and then new tissues grew. And then it dawned on me that, in principle, the exercises I was doing were moving in the right direction, but there was one condition missing. It is impossible to do this manually for a long time. If we look at the practices of tribes and other cultures, we see that they put stress on the body around the clock for years, and that is why they achieved such impressive results. Humans have been creating tension around the clock for months, and only then do the tissues not only stretch temporarily, but also get an incentive to grow through accelerated cell division. I came to the conclusion that I needed some kind of device so that I could fix my penis in an erect state for several hours a day, every day. I started looking on the internet and found it. The price was very good. I was even surprised. I will say up front that my surprise was not unfounded. Why? Because later it turned out that it was precisely because it was not a certified, not patented product, but a Chinese copy that could not give the result. But this time I was not disappointed, because the problem was not with the method, but with the fact that the device could not be securely attached to the penis. If I tried to increase the tension, the penis would fall out of the holder. Even when I managed to get everything set up by some miracle, as soon as I started moving, everything went wrong. As it turned out, the weakest part of the device is in the place where the penis is fixed and held, and it was this moment that made all the copies just garbage. As they say, the miser pays twice. I'm very stingy and have bought more than one copy, and all of them had this main problem. Why do I say I'm stingy? Because I have passed by a device that cost 300–400 euros more than once, and I remembered that. I always had an obsession with the idea that it was the same device as everyone else. They just wanted to make more money off me. But I had no choice anymore, so I went to this site. It turned out that it was a website of a manufacturer from Germany, and they had much more information than all the websites I had visited before. It turned out that they also have free video tutorials and video experiments. They had an after-sales service, meaning that you could always buy any component for the device if something broke down. I was very surprised because sellers of low-quality disposable goods never sell components. They also had a medical license, and the device was patented. That's when I realized who the Chinese manufacturers were copying. In addition, they give an 8-year warranty on the device and a 30-day guarantee that you can get your money back if you don't like something. Oh, I wish I had that 30-day warranty on my previous devices. And then I thought, what am I risking? If it is not a working device again, I will simply return it back and get my money back. I ordered the classic version. In the picture, it was not very different from the various copies I had bought before. I was pleasantly surprised by their privacy policy. That is, they even make the packaging neutral, so that neither the delivery service nor anyone else can understand what is in the box. You must admit that this is very important for us. I used to come up with various cunning schemes to avoid being caught buying something indecent. When I picked it up for the first time, I immediately felt a huge difference in every detail, in the quality of the materials, and thought that I had finally ordered what I needed. And it turned out to be true, because, oh miracle, it was perfectly attached to my penis, and I could walk around with it and do my own thing, even on the street. There was only one requirement. You need to take it off every 3 hours to let the head of the penis rest for a few minutes. And that's it. Then everything is very boring. I did as instructed and noticed the result in the first 3 weeks. But I was still skeptical. I thought maybe I had imagined it or something. Then I started to notice that I looked different in my underwear. I finally realized that there was already the first obvious result. After 2 months, my penis became 1 centimeter longer in a relaxed state, and it was something incredible. I understand that many people will say that 1 chem is not enough, but pick up a ruler and see how long it is, and you will see that it is quite a lot. As strange as it may sound, this 1 centimeter allowed me to behave in a completely different way. It's hard to describe, but the quality of my life has become completely different. The first thing I did was go to the river with my girlfriend, and for the first time in my life, I went swimming naked. I've never been so open with my girlfriend before. I was super confident, and we had completely different sex than usual. Feeling confident in your body is so important. But that's not all. These are the first 2 months of using the device. By the way, my girlfriend never found out that I used it, because it could be worn unobtrusively under your pants, while shopping, going to work, walking, and so on. But there was a disadvantage. I had to take it off every 3 hours, which is the requirement of the instructions. I used it for 3.5 months. I noticed that the growth continued. Once I went to the manufacturer's website to see if I was doing everything right, what results I could expect. And I noticed that there was another version of this device, but it had a different place of attachment of the penis. And I was very interested in it. It turns out that they did not stop at the patented device, but began researching and testing a new technology. And they clearly succeeded. I used the other device for another 3 months, and it really is much better than the previous one. You might say, how is this possible, since the previous one worked? Yes, but you had to take it off every 3 hours, so you had to plan your time all the time. What's different about the new device? They improved the place of attachment of the penis and did it in an ingenious way. They used the principle of vacuum. That is, now the penis is held in the device not by mechanical force, but by a vacuum head. It's hard to describe in detail, but I can tell you that it's a breakthrough. If I thought I had a cool device before, I was shocked when I put on the new version for the first time. They even have a several-hour-long video experiment on their website, where they demonstrate the maximum load that such method can withstand. They do it right on the penis. In fact, to increase the size of the penis, you need to keep it under tension from 200 to 12 grams, and the experiment clearly shows that the device with the new method of attachment can withstand a load of more than 7 kilograms. And besides, the new technology feels completely different on the penis. It does not create friction, pressing, and does not disturb blood circulation even after many hours of use. That is, in addition to much more comfortable wearing, I also got more opportunities for movement because I didn't have to meet the 3-hour deadline. It's just a dream, not a device. I am very grateful to the manufacturers for not stopping at the first option, because they could, since it was already working. Everyone who wants to enlarge the penis is ready to endure the inconvenience, but we don't have to tolerate this anymore. And also, I didn't have to pay the full price. They have the opportunity. There, you could exchange one version for another, and it cost much less money than buying it. About my results and deadlines. In total, I wore the device for 6 months. I took the final measurements a month after I stopped wearing the device so that the measurements would indicate growth, not temporary stretching of the penis. During this time, I added 4 centimeters in the relaxed state and almost 3 centimeters in the erected state. I stopped as I had a goal to increase only in a relaxed state and was satisfied with the result when I got plus 2 centimeters. But I continued for more than a month because I was afraid that my penis would lose length after a while. Also, the penis has straightened out. It was a little crooked to one side. It didn't bother me at all, but it became straight, and I noticed it, so I'm sharing it with you. It is very important that the glands of the penis has grown. I can't say in numbers, because I didn't measure it before, but I noticed it too. And what was most striking was that my penis became thicker than before. That is, it actually became larger in diameter. At first, I didn't believe it, because I didn't stretch it in width and thought it could become thinner. So, I started reading articles and found out that when cells divide rapidly, they do so in all directions, and that's why he became thicker. I usually wore the device for 7 hours a day. Sometimes I could only wear it for 2 hours, and sometimes for 7 hours. That's life. Maybe you will wear better and have better results. Also, keep in mind that during the first period, the penis grows more actively than later. That is, you will get the first few centimeters faster than the next few. Also, if you have a normal-sized penis in erected state and a much smaller one in a relaxed state, the result will also be different, as you saw in my example. But I have to say that you will feel completely different after just 1 centimeter. I guarantee it. Then there will be just a sporting interest. If you want to read more theory, I have more intelligent theoretical articles and videos in my blog. I sincerely wish you to get the result as soon as possible, because I know firsthand how it changes lives. Please don't forget to throw in a few dollars if you want to thank me now, or even after you will get the result. I'm trying my best to let you know how to solve your problem. I will leave the link to the donation in the description. Thank you very much. And remember, if nowadays everyone has the opportunity to increase their height by 10 centimeters in a matter of months, then it is definitely more than realistic to solve your problem. Don't listen to all the skeptics. They just want to do nothing. And a new quality of life awaits you.